Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. It is Sunday morning and I'm losing my voice, which is not ideal. As I mentioned in Saturday's video, I went to the Offprint book fair yesterday, which is like an art book slash zine fair. It took place in the Tate Modern. It was really good. It was super busy. I feel like it's the kind of event you can only go to if you have a high tolerance for being jostled around. It was kind of a lot in some cases. We did our best to look at everything we could, but I still think we probably only saw like a third of it. Like, some of the tables were just so full and they were so busy that it was like impossible to squeeze in. At one point, I waited like a long time to look at a particular table and I managed to squeeze into a gap. And then these two girls seemed to like tag team me and squeeze me back out. It was incredible. I'm not even mad about it because I kind of respect their hustle. But it was a lot. I have some footage of how busy it was. I didn't really take much footage of anything else just because it was such kind of like a frantic environment. I did have some really good chats with some really cool people, some really fantastic artists and some really cool publishing companies and stuff, and that was really nice. I did pick up a couple of books, not too many, and I didn't really find any zines. They are kind of like more on the book side of it. And I picked up a lot of ephemera, so I figured this morning what we could do is look at the books I bought, and then I will try and compile my ephemera into my Filofax as best as I can. I did prep some pages. They are currently lying flat under a pile of books. When I print them double-sided, because of the ink, they kind of curl, and then I have to flatten them back out for a couple of seconds while they're still damp. So this one goes on here, and this is from the day before the book fair, and I left a gap kind of unintentionally, but I've been trying to be more nice to myself about that. I'm trying to think of it as a place to add stickers, so it should be fine. So I made this one for yesterday. Here you can see some of the tables, some of the books. My friend actually took most of these photos. I was not on top of it, and he was kind enough to send them across for me so I could add them into my archive. On the back of this one, I left myself a blank page for ephemera layering. I don't tend to do too much like literal, apologies for Wednesday. I don't tend to do too much literal scrapbooking in my Filofax, but that is kind of something that I want to change. Obviously, I was doing a lot of layering of papers and stuff in my cousin, and at the moment I'm not using my cousin so much just because I'm too distracted, to be honest with you. Any amount of time I was spending in the cousin is now spent on Andamos, so I just haven't been on top of it. And then I made a third page with some pictures of what I bought or picked up. And then this is from this morning. So I left a gap down here too, either for more ephemera again, or I can reprint it later on and kind of add some more text if I want to. I'm leaving that open to deciding. This page will be the end of the week, so this one would get, actually it wouldn't get reprinted, it would just get double-sided printed, I forgot, but doesn't matter, it should be fine. I will kind of see how I feel. I haven't printed the rest of my weekly pages yet, so there's no update on that just because today is Sunday and I'm still working through things. I still have a few things on my to-do list, laundry always being one of them, and I have some tidying up to do, so I'm not ready. So that's what my Filofax looks like in the prep stage. In regards to the books I bought, I will show them to you maybe in the order that I bought them. And the first book I found at the fair was Death, Design and Data. So I saw the words like digital ghosts, data loss, and then I think I saw the word internet somewhere, and I was like, sign me up. Like, that is phenomenal. Super exciting. And on the back there's kind of like a synopsis. And I will open it so we can have a quick look. So this one is nice because the cover is kind of shiny. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's not matte. I mean, it is matte, but it's also shiny, if that makes sense. And this kind of topic is something that I am really interested in. I wrote a kind of like a small article for my Halloween zine last year that was a little reminiscent of this topic, about the idea of the internet being haunted in more ways than one. It's something that I've also spoken to a number of people about over the years, people who are way more well-read on the topic than I am. And it's just such an interesting premise of things being lost and haunted, and like data degradation and stuff like that, like data rot. Like it's, I don't know how to explain it very well, especially at this time of the morning when I'm still drinking my coffee. But it's a topic that I'm big into, and it does kind of overlap a little with some of the ideas I have for Undermoss, which is really exciting. I didn't expect to find a topic in a zine as cool as this, I guess. I mean, it's not that I'm not surprised though, or like it's not that I doubted that there would be cool stuff there, but like I was just happy to find it, basically. It's beautiful. So this is the publishing information, I believe. I think Onomatopoeia Projects is the publisher. I think that's who stole the table I was at when I found them. But that's one of the books I got. Obviously I haven't read any of them yet, I just skimmed through them at the fair and then picked them up. But I'm super excited for this one. And then the other one I got from the same table, actually. So what happened was I bought that one, the data zine, the data book, and I was like to my friend, I was like, I'm in so much danger in this room right now. I told him my budget. I came in way under budget, by the way. I told him my budget and I said, do not let me exceed that. Like I cannot exceed that right now. I have to pay my taxes soon. I do not have that kind of cash spare right now. And then we went around most of the room, the hall, and we looked at sort of like as many tables as we could, or we think we looked at all of them, but I don't think we did. And I didn't actually find anything else that I wanted to buy. There were some artists there who I was really excited to see, but they didn't have any stock left of the zines that I had wanted to buy, which is fine. But it meant that I didn't actually end up buying anything after the data zine. So I had seen a different one that I went back for. And then as we did a second loop, kind of like a quick second loop to check we hadn't missed any of the tables at the top, I found this one on the same table as the data zine. And I like flipped through it because it's about rest and sort of like the nocturnalities bargaining beyond rest, which is a fantastic title. And I skimmed through it, and there's articles on crip time and stuff, which is a concept I'm really interested in as a sleep disordered / disabled person. So I picked it up as well, from the same table. So shout out to that one table because they had some banging books. And we can have a look at this one too. And this one has a different texture for the cover. It's kind of shinier. It has like some kind of coating on it, but it's still really nice. And I love the colors. Like, I'm a big fan of whoever this publisher is. Like, I'm gonna find them and follow them because it's... Oh, look at the edge as well. It's like sprayed. I didn't even notice that. That's amazing. So we can have a look in here. The paper is kind of like a grey off-white. And there's some actual grey ones with some white text. Some really beautiful stuff. Like, this is also, I guess, a concept generally that I'm into because it overlaps with so much of my own experience. So I'm really glad that since I'd missed this the first time around, that I spotted it the second time, and that I was able to pick it up, because this is the kind of thing I was interested in buying. There were a lot of like photography zines. I feel like there weren't actually that many like illustrated zines, which was disappointing for me. There was some, don't get me wrong, like there was a good amount, I guess, but it was mostly essays, written text, and like photography zines. So I'm glad I found a couple at least that kind of are in my area of interest. I mean, at a fair like that, there's always going to be something for everyone, which is a good thing. Like, there's a page on hypersomnia, which is cool. Yeah, so very neat. I'm a big fan. I just think aesthetically too, both of those zines are fantastic. Like, the way that the aesthetic is carried across is just super cool. So those are the two ones I'm really excited about. And then the one I went back for that I saw and wasn't sure about, I thought it looked really cool, but I was like, if there's anything better, then I would rather buy those than this one. This one is called A License to Rock and Pop, An Inventory of Attitude by James Fry. And I will open it up carefully. And again, this one has such a fascinating texture. It's kind of like a woven-y fabric feeling, but paper. So it's textured to the touch. To be honest, I kept picking up everything and then saying to my friend, like, oh my god, touch this, because everything had interesting textures, and I love that. I feel like I just went there to touch paper. That's what I said to my friend. I just love the feel of textures and stuff. I would love to know who everyone gets stuff printed by, because this kind of printing is amazing and I don't know how to unlock it. I don't know how to break into that circle. Like, please let me print cool things too. So as you can see going through, there's a lot of writing about and photos of musicians over the years, rock and pop musicians, which is nice. When I first opened it at the table, I just opened it to a massive picture of Joey Ramone and I was like, okay, sold. And then there's some like fun interactive bits at the end, which is kind of a neat concept. And it's just, there we go, Joey Ramone. All of the Ramones actually. It's just, I don't know, it's cool. I'm into it, obviously. You know what kind of music I like, and so I was excited to see this one. Also because the artist or the author is playing with a lot of like cool like layout ideas and stuff, and like different size text and different styles of photos, like different like medias almost. And it's just, it's fun. I like to see that. Like, it's something I think I need to try harder to do a bit, and so it's neat. I'm not very good at talking about books at this time of the morning, but that's what I got. Just a couple of cool little guys for my shelf. Moving on to my ephemera then, I'll show you what I picked up, and then I'll probably stop talking before my voice completely disappears, and then I can start trying to layer some bits. Most of the stuff I picked up was free. I think I only paid for the stickers, and they're all the same. Everything else was like business cards or like free papers. So this one is a business card for newdimensions.net or newdimension.net. It has two sides. I think I prefer this side with the dressing gowns hanging on the hook. This one is a business card for Outer Zounds, Oz, London screen printing, which is neat. T-shirts, editions, design and more. So that's helpful. Maybe they print. Very nice, screen printing. This one, Library Mothership. I just thought it was neat, the way it's almost like an embroidery pattern. I like that a lot. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm gonna have to go through and Google them all to find out what I have. But what I'll do maybe is try and link everything I picked up, or not the items because obviously they're business cards, but what I'll try and do is link all the publishers and artists that I can find, that I can remember, in the description, so you can have a look at them if you want to investigate. These are the stickers I bought, and I picked up 3 of them as like a just in case because I thought they were really cool. The artist name is not on them, which is a problem for me because at that point in the day I was so frazzled, and he didn't have a business card that I could see. I did also pick up these prints from him though, so maybe... No, that's not artist information, I don't think. So I don't know his name. I'm gonna have to... I have the map, so what I'll have to do is look at the map and try and work out which one he was. The turbine hall is long, so I came in here and he was down here, so maybe he was 74. Which would make him... Why is this not in number order? It's alphabetical instead. 74. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that because I'm gonna have to look through the long string of numbers that aren't in order to try and find him. But I think that might have been him. I will find him. I will investigate and I'll link his like socials and his website in the description for you. He was really lovely. I spoke to him for a little bit and he was really cool. So I picked up these nice stickers just because it looks like a really staticky guy and I'm a big fan of that. I like that a lot. And then I also picked up a couple of these prints which were free. I thought you would have to pay for them, to be honest, but they were free. So I picked up 2. One for my wall, I guess, and one for my Filofax. He said that was fine. I just think they're cool. I like that it's very much like a, you know, when you were a kid and your markers were running out, that's how this feels to me. So there's something really nice and nostalgic about it. Let me try and put these to one side. And then I have this one, oh, from Onomatopoeia Project. So this is the publisher that I picked up the 2 books from. Definitely gonna give them a follow. I'm glad I picked up their paper actually, and I think I have a sticker. Yeah, I have a sticker as well. So thankfully I did have myself covered on their end and I have their details. But very nice. I love that this is screen printed. It's gonna look Oh look, it's the perfect size for my Filofax. Wow, it's like fate. This one from the Artist Book Collective, ABC. I really like their work. I follow them on Instagram. I have done for a long time. And it was one of their artists that I chatted to for a while. It was this one, George Gibson, who makes really, really cool zines. You should follow them if you don't. They make amazing zines. And what they did was for the fair, they had done something similar, they said, for an exhibition, I think in France. And then they had some left over, so they whipped up some more as well. And it's basically like a catalogue of the zines they were selling that they had made. And it just ticks the topics, which is such a sick idea. So, so cool. And the glittery paper is beautiful as well. We were chatting about it. Unfortunately, they did not have the Untitled Ghostwatch fanzine that I wanted to buy. It was all sold out. They'd only brought a couple of copies. But they said they could hook me up, so I will be in touch. It's beautiful. Like, I don't know how people make this stuff. It's so cool. Like, it makes me want to do better, if that makes sense. They also said that I could take a couple of these. So I have two, again, one for just in case and one for my Filofax now, which is nice. And this will also fit perfectly in my Filofax, so that's very exciting for me. I have this bookmark business card. It says Talker. It's like a bronze color. It's really nice. It's kind of metallic. And on the back it has a QR code, and it says an interview zine about performance. So that's what they make. I just really like the printing style. And also for some of the tables that were too busy to access, I was just picking up business cards if I could sneak a hand in, because I figured at least then I could go home and have a look. Which ended up being a tactic that I think I relied quite heavily on, because as the day went on it got so much busier. When my friend and I left, actually, we went to get a coffee outside, and then we came back in to use the bathrooms before we left the area. And there was a queue to get into the fair, which there wasn't when we arrived, and it was stretching like right out the back of the turbine hall. They were all queued up on the slope and out the door, which, terrible. Like, that sounds like an awful time. I'm really glad that we were there early enough to not have to worry about it. But I guess that just goes to show how busy it got as the day progressed. By the time we left, we couldn't move. So this one is from Monte 3 Press, I think. Or is it like with a Z? It might be a Z and not a 3, that might be my bad. But I will link them in the description too when I find them. I like this a lot. I like that the M has an extra loop. I think that's kind of cool. I feel like something is happening here that I'm too tired to perceive, but like, it's neat. It's a neat design, and I like the color. They actually had like a fan of bookmark business cards in like an array of colors, and that was really cool because everyone got to choose their color. I went for a nice dark green because my Filofax has been leaning green recently in the pages, and I knew that if I picked like a giant pink one, it would stick out badly. So I went for like a nice foresty green. And then the last piece of ephemera I picked up is this amazing business card with like some mandrake people almost, and it's foiled, so you can see it's like pressed actually, not just foiled, and they're shiny. I thought that was really cool. And this is by, oh, Onomatopoeia again, 10 out of 10, no notes. They had great stuff. So big fan of them. And that's everything I picked up. Apart from, oh no, wait, I have one more. This one stall. The publisher is called either Soft Concern, Hard Concern, or Hard Concern, Soft Concern. I was talking to them and I said, oh, these are really cool, can I take these? And they said, yeah, that's like the business card. And I was like, oh, nice, it's better than like a normal card. And then she said that like she'd forgotten to get them printed maybe or something like that, but that she had to keep explaining to people what they were, so like actually it was not very practical, which was a little bit funny. Condolences to her. But I like these a lot. They're just like Fujifilm prints, and I like them. I was like, those are going to be perfect in my Filofax. You don't know this, but they're great. So I picked both up, Hard Concern and Soft Concern, and I will loop those in too. And then obviously last thing I have that I showed you already is just the map. It's just a little paper map. I had to try and fold it really carefully and then put it in my bag without denting it up too bad, just so that I could put it in here without it being super roughed up. I'm gonna have to trim some off to try and make it fit, but I think I would like to keep it. So it's nice to have the index of all the traders. So that's everything I got at offprint. Would definitely recommend it if you have, you know, the tolerance for a fair where you keep getting knocked around and you don't mind too much having to sort of like push and wait and squeeze into small spaces. I did find a lot of cool stuff and I spoke to a lot of cool people, and I think that makes it worth it, even though I was hella flustered by the time we left. And I'm really tired today, definitely. I'm feeling it today. But it was cool, so I would recommend it. It happens every year in the Tate Modern, that is, in London along the South Bank. So the biggest perk is that you can walk along the South Bank to get there, and you know how I feel about the South Bank. But that's what I picked up.